Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
I'll just share the equivalency, the context of both the rules. Basically example, I can give you example. When you assign course, let's take a course A and course B are there. When we assign course A to learner, instead the learner completes course B, which is equivalent to the course A. The learner gets an equivalent record of course A, which closes the assignment. Basically, we have created two courses. Both are, similar kind of courses. And we have assigned among two. We have assigned one to employee to complete that. But instead of that, employee completes the other one, which is equivalent course to A. Here the learner will be getting equivalent record for course A completion, which closes the assignment, because since an employee has completed equivalent course from what you have assigned, the assignment will be considered as completed. We can close the assignment. Creating a record based on the equivalent course is something like which satisfies the kind of prerequisite that we have for course A, which was completed by employee on the course B. Whatever the credit requirements or any kind of completion requirements that learning team has for course A, the same will apply for course B also. When you assign a course A to employee, an employee completes course B, which makes that employee has completed course B. That will be meeting the needs of learning team, learning administrative team. Only the third thing here is the actual one that is assigned to employee will not be completed, but which is equivalent to the assignment of whatever course that was assigned to employee was completed. Here the goal is met. The goal is met. Only the thing is actual assigned course was not completed, but the other course, which was equivalent to that course, was completed by an employee. Here course A will appear in the required for you, your slider, based on the expiration date that employee has. When employee views course, A will be populating and learner can also view both courses. But basically, since employee has completed the course B, even the course B also will be populated. Whenever employee completes one or more courses that are equivalent to a particular content, Workday displays an equivalency status on a kind of image. A thumbnail image will be populated on the content that display the status to indicate that employees don't need to complete the content because they've already earned the equivalency from another content. That's the kind of message in a Workday will be populating. Here the status will be displayed when employees have not interacted with any of the content. If they enroll in, start or complete the content. Generally 2 courses in a 1 or 2 equivalency courses when employee is completed. If employee is able to complete one, irrespective of the actual one, the consideration is goal is met. Because employee has completed whatever the requisites are there for completing the course, the same credits employee will be getting instead of the other. The same kind of a value that employee will be getting. Same kind of learning credits employee will be getting. There is no difference. Only the thing is apart from the actual one employee is completed, the other one which is equivalent. We'll be creating such kind of rules here. That will make employee to go with that equivalency rules. What does the benefit make? Here, capture anything in the recording or report something it will be capturing in the report. We have, it will be captured in the report. It will be captured in the inner completion. Everything will be captured. In my current LMS, I don't see any rules. That's why it's very new to me to understand. That's where we call it as a kind of an equivalent rule. It should make the employee to get a kind of credit which is equal into the quotes that was assigned to employee. The next day you assign, let's say, Microsoft Basics and Excel Basics. These are the two courses. Now these two courses you are assigned, and you are asking me that you know complete. A Microsoft Basic should be completed as a kind of targeted before a week or not. Now for me personally, I know the Microsoft Basics and I'm clear on that. Instead of doing that one, I'll be completing Excel Basics, which is equal into that one. Microsoft and the Basics are equivalent and the Microsoft. I'm aware of that. And then I went for Excel Basics. I've completed that one. The same kind of credit, whatever required for this particular quarter. Something has to be completed this quarter. The same kind of credits, same kind of, the content completions which I'm completing this quarter can be achieved because I've completed something that is, equal into the course that is aligned to me. Whatever credit that I'll be getting by completing the actual one, the same credit I got by completing the one that I did outside of my assignment, I did. I'll be getting the same kind of credits that I'll be needing to complete in this quarter per learning administrative. And my goal for next quarter, I'll be taking care of the other thing that will be left over. That is nothing but a kind of equivalency rules we define, and based on that, employee will be able to handle equivalent courses that can be taken. Does this make sense? Now we'll try to configure this one and see how it works. There is a task code. There is a task called Create Learning Equivalency. On this and select singular equivalency rules, which enables you to add multiple contents into the source and target fields. Now the second one group equivalency rule, which enables you to make multiple contents equivalent to each other quickly, that learners, employees, can gain the equivalency in multiple courses. You'll be setting up the courses now. Instead of singular equivalency rules, the source. Source is nothing but the learning content that learners must complete to achieve, which are nothing but courses. Whether a digital course or blended course, Multiple courses ipnur next day verte unbekfanam. What is it? This is course what you are selecting. I am selecting source. What is the learning efficiency rule? Completing one course that is equivalent to other. That's the reason we are selecting courses. We were seeing a digital blended. Even if you go there also, we will be seeing these courses only. Instead of that, I am finding by search the course post names. These are the two courses that we have, which will create an equivalency rule for this one. And target is probably here we can take. That would be the target. Here, that is a source and this is a target. What we will be assigning to an employee. Here, two-way in the sense which makes a kind of understanding for an employee that employee can take these content, either source or target, to achieve equivalency in either. In order to complete this course, employee can take either of those. There is a reason why we select it as two-way. They are not selecting it two-way. It is one-way. Employee can select only the one that is one course. Here you can have kind of view, no feature, like if employee wanted to go for targeted course but employee has completed this one. Employee will be able to complete that because of the two-way that we have selected here. If you have not selected this one, whatever that employee is supposed to can complete the one. The other one cannot. The other course. That is the reason why we select two ways that employee can take care of the two courses. The option applies. This option is applied for only a singular one, but if you go for this one group equivalence rule, this will not be applied. Will not be able to see. Will not be able to see the two-way checkbox here. I will be selecting that again. Do you understand why we go for equivalence rule? Yes. We will give some data first. Display equivalency record in the learning history. and display equivalency options on course. Now we submit this one. You can see this is now completed. Now, as a result, what we can do is work out the learning equivalency rule. Since there is no business process configuration, it has not been for any approval. It is completely completed. There is no any kind of business process approval from manager or any of the senior. We don't have any approval. Automatically, when this was submitted, it get completed. See, as an admin, we created this rule. And we have to assign that or assign to users or learners. We have created this rule. Now, whenever manager equivalency rule is nothing but unique for a tenant level, it is assigned at tenant level. When employee completes either this one or this one, the equivalency rule will apply now. This is for every employer, not for just one employee. That is the reason why I said this is at tenant level. This is not at employee level. This rule is configured at tenant level, where every employee will be able to utilize this option. If employee has to complete either of the one can do because of the equivalency rule that we have created. This is not for individual employee that you can assign. Camping is nothing but where you can assign for individual employee. But equivalency rule is not for a specific employee. It applies at tenant level, at Workday instance level. Across the system level it applies. Every employee can come in. That's what equivalency rule talks about. Now you can see if you can access the task called Manage Equivalency Rules. You can see the one that we would have created will be added here. You can see here source content and target content is one thing that we have added, which will be active now. Any employee can go and take this source or target, which would be a kind of two-way content. Now if you see another report which is nothing but managed learning content. Here you can see we have equivalency rule that we have created. We can select that. Here is view content. Select view content from the search. This is something when you're not able to find. When you search something on the search bar, you can come into the categories. Come into the categories and check. Since you're looking for learning categories, you can click on more and it should be getting something related to learning. Click on learning. If this comes under this category, whatever you're searching for learning, it will be showing the number of searches here. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to access a class for managed learning equivalency rules. Yes? This one, let's see. We can see here for each of the course, you can see Introduction to the Learning View Equivalencies. Workday HC. You can see Introduction to Workday Learning was something that we accessed. If you go for equivalence thing, we should be finding this is an equivalent option. You can complete this equivalent course instead of the selected course. Also is what it is saying. And similarly, if you go for other one that we have created, Workday HCM, if you go for real equivalences, there is an alternative option. You can see Introduction to Workday Learning. We can complete this equivalent course instead of the others. Because we made the configuration equivalency rules, we have selected two courses. One can take instead of the other. If you go for any kind of Workday certification, if you're attending for any kind of Workday certification now, you have opted for Workday Learning. Workday Learning Independent is a kind of learning certification that you opted for. But you also have an option, equivalency option, that Workday Learning on Demand. On demand, independent in the sense. However you want on your own, you can do on demand in the sense it's an instructor, one who will be available, who will be sharing the PDF documentation for you. This is one of the equivalency course that you also have. Instead of that, you can also take that. That's the kind of an equivalency course that you're setting up. That's what we have done now. Tomorrow, when you're attending any kind of interview, what was the core configuration that you have done? You know, if someone asks you, there is a valid point for you. There is a kind of requirement that we got that business was asking two courses to be created and have these two courses under equivalency rules because they wanted to have any of these courses can be completed. When we assign this to employee, when any of this course is assigned to employee, they can complete either of them because both are equivalent courses. We've created equivalency rules as per the business requirement. An employee has a kind of choice. They can go for either of the course as per their choice, is what you need answered. Generally, you shouldn't have seen this in your current system, but Workday offers this. That would help you when correct any kind of multiple courses. That makes the equivalency rules. You can have an option to select one instead of the other. You can note down the configurations. You can note down the configurations like equivalency rule. Just note down that. And probably when you're reviewing the recording, you can get the content. You can add a kind of skills in a resume. What are the skills? The code configuration that you made. They can add all these things, drop configuration, equivalency configuration, all this configuration that you're familiar. No need that. You need to be familiar with the configurations, but you know the content, how it behaves, what is the kind of objective of the configuration. You're aware. That's what it is needed for you. That's the equivalency rule. As we know, we'll be covering something similar, which is pre-equivalent rules. Pre-equivalent. The content here is we will create pre-equivalent rules that can define completion of one or more courses or programs. Let's say you're subscribed for Workday Learning course. With Workday. But in order to complete this Workday Learning course, there is a prerequisite for you. There is something called Workday Basics, is something prerequisite that you have to complete. Only when you complete Workday Basics, then only you'll be able to apply for Workday. Learning is a kind of a prerequisite section. Generally, we'll be seeing this certification. People wanted to learn both the integration skills. But Workday would have kept a kind of prerequisite. If you wanted to learn Workday integrations, you need to complete our prerequisite for the reporting. Only when employee completes the prerequisite, employee will be eligible to take the integrations. Here we are setting up the prerequisite for the actual course. When employee completes the prerequisite, then only they'll be able to do the other one. This will be in real time. Also, you'll be seeing from customers. Let's say you're assigning onboarding courses to employees. One is first week of the course. The other one is second week of the course. The other one is third week of the course. When employee tries to go for second week, the employee did not complete the first week one, but employee is trying to attempt the second week one. There should be an error during that. This course has a prerequisite, first week one. If you complete first week one, then only you can come to second week one. Because the first week course is a prerequisite of second week one. That was the configuration. That is a basic context of the configuration. Both, whatever we have seen, equivalency once and prerequisites are same, but only the thing is there, you can do both. Either of the one you can do. Here you can do only one. We are navigating. It's just like a forced navigation unless you complete the first one, you can't go to. You can go to the second one. But there, what is the kind of rule we are doing? You can complete one. When you complete one, you know that you are doing the other one. Because that is equivalent to the other one, either of the course we can take. There is a difference between equivalency and prerequisite rules. Next answer. Yes. We will be performing configuration on this. We have a task called Create Learning Prerequisite Rule. What is the task? Create Learning Prerequisite Rule. This is the target content. We are giving that target course, which is working learning. In order to complete this, one employee should complete the prerequisite code. What are the basics? The same fundamentals is something that will be given. Now we can add multiple target contents. We can add multiple. You can add multiple click on. Now we have created a prerequisite rule now. Now, when I go to this course, I should be seeing a pre-representer. Only when you complete these two, then only you can go for completing this course. Now look at this course. You can also search the course from the take the course name from here. You can search from the search bar also. When you search for this course, you don't populate on the search, but you need to go for categories. You need to go for categories, more categories and learning. Introduction to what you will learn. Introduction to Word Data Learning. When I access this course, I will be seeing this course has a prerequisite. New prerequisites. If I click on this one, we should be seeing option 1, option 2. I think this is already configured, I believe. We have not configured this one. We have configured this one. You can see option 2. Whatever we have configured, we are seeing here. We didn't know. The first one was configured, but the second one, when we configured, it is showing as an option 2. You can add multiple options. Either this was one. Previously it was added. Employee can go for this one, or employee can also go for option 2. When an employee completes these two, they can go directly for this course to complete. Induction to Work Learning. That's something called prerequisite. Even this one. This is at tenant level, not at employee level. An employee goes to subscribe this one. It will be showing a prerequisite. You need to complete this prerequisite. Then only you will be able to go for this one. This is also at tenant level only. Got? These are the two core configurations which will be adding strength to your resume. The other one, yesterday we were discussing on something called transcripts. Transcripts manage waitlist and assessment. Assessment. You told us you will check and come back. Transcripts. We have kind of delivered the things. If you go for learning, whatever employee has completed this, you should be seeing it here, but employee there is. No, there is nothing employee completed, but we can. Since I am a learning admin, What I can do is I can mark something as complete. I can go to related actions. I can manage enrollment completion. I can. Once I click on this, one employee will be able to complete this. Even you will be having access when you are a Workday Learning admin student. If you wanted to complete forceful completion, you can go to the related actions of that course. Manage enrollment completion. Click on this. Confirm and click on. Now this will be completed with employee record. If you go to the employee record, we should be seeing complete action. Where is the 12 that has gone? And what is the course that we did? Let me do one more post to see. Workday BP integrations. Let me see. Let's start it. I should be seeing something in the completions. If you want it, if you go to Learning Admin Dashboard or as a learner also, you have something to generate a transcript. Go to homepage as an employee. Learning. And my learnings. Here you can see View Learning Transcript. Click on the Review Learning Transcript. When you click on the View Learning Transcript, whatever that you have completed, you can generate a transcript for that one. You can see here the transcript has got generated, which shows the complete status of the learnings. Generally, since this is a training tenant, you are seeing more, but if it is actual tenant, you should be seeing whatever that are there in the channel. You can see a kind of transcript has got generated which shows what employee has enrolled, what employee has completed, what employee has not completed. You can see the completed ones. You can see the one that are in progress. You can see the one that are not in progress, which are in not started state. You can see there's nothing but a kind of transcript. This is delivered on what Workday offers. What we have we can make. Workday has given a kind of flexibility that we can create our own kind of certificate as how we wanted to have kind of logos that we wanted. We can add content that we wanted to add. We can do kind of our own kind of setup. However, we wanted to have with the learning transcript. That's what I was telling yesterday. Customers will giving their own kind of requirements that they wanted to have a transcript with employee details, with manager details, with where the employee belonging to which team, which manager, which department kind of things. We can add in the transcript and have it prepared. This is something you kind of transcript where you can find the transcript if you go to learning application. My learning and you can see transcript options here. Review learning transcript in your learning history. Access your learning transcript. Review a record of your learning. This is an employee view. Employee can find their own certificate transcript. Learning admin also, you should be having some extra options, but let me go back to the app. If you click on learning admin has a lot of other options than just what is there for an employee. They can view anything. They don't have a kind of transcript generation because transcript is nothing but self-service, which employee wanted to generate their own completions. Admin cannot do that because that's something a self-service record. If I wanted to get my learning transcript for the courses that I've completed, I have access to general, not learning. Admin can do that for me because all the completions that I've done will be sitting in my Workday, not learning. Admin. I will have an access to generate transcript for all the courses that I've completed, for all the courses that are in progress, for all the courses that are not started. That's something but kind of transcripts where you can view. And that would be kind of in a core concepts, which we can consider, and probably in our next sessions, we'll focus some of the major things which we are left with. Today we have covered equivalency rules and prerequisites, and I got the content from them. Learning instructors were created and learning dashboards. We've seen validations. We've seen drop course categories. We've seen and topics. We've seen dashboard worklets. We've seen learning. Security is not something you will need because you're going into learning operations. You will not be taking care of any of the security stuff. That is not required for you. And segment security also is not required for you. And configure, set up security for learning also. That's part of the implementation where you will not be involved in the implementation of the system. That is also not required. And security learning also is not required. We have something called a setup pricing. Enablement is something that we can cover. Pricing enablement and the pricing for learning and restrict access for learning content is something also related to security, which you will be not needing. We'll focus on pricing enablement and configure, set up pricing enablement, learning, and any kind of payment configurations. If you're enrolling for a cost-associated courses, What are the payment configurations can be? We'll be covering these three. And also we have lessons we have discussed and managing learning content in other. But creating courses really discuss campaigns we did discuss and learning. Even packaged the content is something we'll be discussing. Learning courses, we discussed course offering. We discussed an instructor-led classroom training online, which we did not see, but we can see learning programs and learning content to be edited. Equivalency rules, prerequisite rules, we've just discussed today. And enrollments. We did perform some kind of enrollments and mass learning enrollments, also really discuss and drop enrollments. We did see dropping the enrollments when employee is not interested to. We need to cover that. Listing is something we need to do, and enrollment completion, we just did not. When employee has enrolled, and we went to employee enrollment and did forceful completion, you did see that how we can do a kind of forceful completion. When employee content is in progress or not started, they can do completion by going to the related actions of that one and completed that one. And we have something called expiry. If we give the option to employees without going, they just complete the course. No. No, this is not an employee will not have. This is option for learning admins. Whatever that I've shown you, then the employee will not have all this access, the transcript employees. Transcript one employee will have because it's on their own completions. If they wanted to see a complete record of their completion, they can generate a transcript and see. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.